Well, hello everybody. Welcome back once again, JJ's PC Builds. This is JJ. Sorry I was running a little bit behind schedule. So, just waiting for everybody to get in. See what happens. Between lunch and everything else, I was running a little bit behind, so I do apologize for being late. I know it's like an hour or so late, but we'll start it right here and then we'll keep moving on down the road. So that way, everybody can get in. Yes, I did get done, finish my lunch too. Make sure y'all got your soda. This might be like a half an hour live vid that is. And welcome everybody that just came in the door. Let's see, clear that out of the way. I'll give it a few for everybody to get in, be able to get in on chat. How is everybody doing today? Make sure you get in on that. Let me know you're here. Let me know you can hear some audio, that it's not too laggy, or if it's working or not. Just give me a holler and let me know if it's working. Let's see. Alrighty, well, we give it enough time to let everybody get in on it. So we're going to go ahead and get started a little bit with what might be transpiring as to be a good or bad thing. Seems AMD and NVIDIA are playing a very, very bad game of less stock bringing, for them to put on the market and keeping the prices up high. So when you go to buy a graphics card, a processor, they're keeping it up high. And just like with the AIB partners, they're doing the same thing. They're keeping up the prices high. And the more that the more they put out, the newer versions, the less we're going to see of low budget gaming. So I can tell you from now until maybe October, it doesn't look like it's going to be really good unless you got $1,000 or $2,000 in your pocket, just to buy a video card. I mean, that to me is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, let's take a look through Amazon, and we'll go through the action screen I got right here, and let's see what Amazon's been cooking. I know Amazon's been cooking something, so let's see what they got cooking today. Let me pull this up a little bit. Fix it up a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Alright. Well, we are at Amazon. We're looking at the prices here. I mean, I remember the 5500 XT. If you watched a couple episodes back of Graphics Card Nightmares, at the 5500 XT used to be way less of a price, and the 3060 used to be to where you can get it for like $297. Now it's like $358. They're still keeping these 580 graphics cards right at $123 to $127. 3050, that came down in price a little bit. It used to be about $349. Now it's down. Well, they got it at $389, but some places $349. Now it's down to $299, $300. And that, believe it or not, the 3050 is not a great graphics card. So, they're forcing everybody to want to buy these little dinky cards again. So, let me move myself over. Let me move this over here. And move this back here a little bit. Oh, lordy. Okay. So, we had to fix ourselves up a little bit over here. I mean, that's not bad for $279, but it's still a little too high. 4070 Ti looks like it came down in price a little bit, but it's still $799's MSRP, so I doubt that it's going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. They got a 5500 XT. Looks like it's a different brand. They got it for $139. I'm still hesitant about that because it's 128-bit. Then they got the 6400 for $140. And they even got a 550 in there. Who's going to pay, and I want y'all to look at this, who's going to pay right here, who's going to pay $2,186? Not me. Like I told y'all, I'm not going to be doing all that. This is just to give you a little bit of a price look of what's going on right now between the AIB partners and NVIDIA and AMD all in one shot. So this gives you a good idea of what you're going to be looking at as far as buying a graphics card. Now, also too, want to have a good old talk about your the BIOS updates that's been going on. as well. I'll show you more graphics cards. There's Graphics Card Nightmare tomorrow night. I think it's Friday. Or no, it's Saturday. Y'all are going to have to wait till Saturday. Yep. On Saturday, I'll be posting the video out for Graphics Card Nightmare. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. That is going to be a good one. That will be a really good one, just to let you know. Also, too, I was telling y'all about the biases. Okay, I made a video on this that with Asus, they had, like, for the B450 motherboard, they had a new BIOS update. Now, finding out in Reddit, or however you say Reddit, I would imagine, that they said with some of these companies that they got what they call a memory bug. You know, like a RAM bug. So basically that it's like, you know, occupying more RAM than what you're actually using. So I'm just going to give you a small disclaimer. Before you update your BIOS, make sure, and I mean make sure, that, you know, you check it out to make sure that it doesn't have that bug. Okay, before you update your BIOS to the new one, I wish I would have looked, but I didn't actually look. So the problem is that it turned out to be buggy, and now I'm using more RAM than what I'm supposed to be using. So in order to eliminate that, I had to, instead of with the drivers, with the driver software for AMD, I only had to put in the drivers only to lower the amount of usage, and I had to take out a couple things to lower the amount of usage. So on that note, right now I'm streaming off of it and it's working, so I'm going to go with it just like that. You know, for now, until I can get a hold of Asus to find out if they're going to have a workaround for this, to see if they're going to fix it or whatever the case is going to be. Now, going into the comments section, I want to let y'all know, okay, and I'm just backtracking on the comments that were put out this week and last week. Now, with the B450, you know, and above, you know, your Ryzen 5 5000 series, okay, you're best off to run the 5000 series on a B450 or greater motherboard. So if I were you, the best way to go would be to go to the B550. It's a couple more dollars more, and plus it opens all the floodgates for you. But pick one that's going to work well with that processor. So if you want the motherboard unlocked, make sure you get a fully unlocked motherboard. And you know the processor will probably be unlocked, so make sure that you got a good unlocked processor. If you're going AMD, Intel, it's the same principle. If you want, you know, you want to push your processor, you want to push the motherboard, you want to push the RAM and everything else, it's best to have a good unlocked processor and a good unlocked motherboard in order to do so. And if you don't know how to find that, it'd be very simple to find it. You look up the specs on the motherboard to see if it's fully unlocked or if it's not. Usually the manufacturers will let you know if the motherboard's unlocked. They'll let you know if the processor's unlocked, and so on. So make sure you match up there as well. Um, Going back through the comments. Now with GPUs being, like at that, on an average, I'm going to say on an average about $2,000. Okay. The newest ones, they're going to be in that 1% block for the 1%ers that want you to buy a GPU, but they're not going to give you the price to performance. You're going to be paying for the performance and not getting, you're going to be getting a whole lot of price for a lot less performance. 4090 from NVIDIA is your best on the market right now. They're supposed to, the way the leaks are going, the 4090 Ti is supposed to be coming out, and a 4000 series Titan supposed to be coming out. An RTX Titan supposed to be coming out. Also, too, there's rumors that a 4070 was coming out. Not the 4070 Ti, the 4070. There was rumors that the 4060 Ti was coming out, and the 4060, and a 4050 was coming out. Not sure about a 4050 Ti, but there was rumors of them coming out. Now, finding out that the 4060 and the 4050 were introduced into laptops. So, they were pushing out laptops with the RTX, 4060 and 4050 mobile. But as far as desktops, they were supposed to be coming out with desktops too. So we're all going to sit back and wait for that to happen. But as far as the price to performance on that, you might as well forget it, because you're not going to get the price to performance. Reason for that is because they're always going to keep it $100 to $200 higher than the last series. So basically, if you got a 3070 and they say, well, we got a 4070 coming out, or the 4070 is going to be equal to the 3080, but it's going to be a couple $100 more than the 3080, they're going to find a way to keep that price up high. So, performance-wise, it's hard to tell. And the reason why I tell you it's hard to tell, because unless you're testing it, you don't know how the performance is. So, it's a gamble. If you go to buy one of those cards, it is a gamble. Just to let you know that. Now, as far as Crucial did a great job, I think, on the M.2 drives and their SATA, your SSD drives. I think they do a really good job. Crucial does. And the reason why I always recommend Crucial is because I'm using a Crucial. I've been using it for 5 months. There's no degradation. It's not losing any space or anything else. It's right there, tip top. And I've been running that for about almost 5 months now. It's the P2 1 terabyte hard M.2 drive. And it's running top shelf, I think. So I haven't had a problem in 5 months. So, especially with the B450 motherboard, that's kind of, even though that I got that one little hiccup, it still runs great. I can still game and everything else. I just have to cut things here and there. And also too, I'm thinking about debloating Windows 10 before I go to Windows 11. So that way I'm going to try to see if going from Windows 10 to Windows 11, if it's debloated before it gets there, if it's going to reinstall all that crap that Microsoft had back onto it again. So that's what I'm going to be waiting to see. Now, as far as when it comes to the graphics card and everything else, we're going to have to work on getting a new graphics card. I want to try out a new graphics card. I'm still up in the air about that, so, you know, you try to get what you can get for the affordability. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Oh, something stuck in my throat. It's always calling for a soda. So, looking upon that, that's pretty much, my conclusion to some of the comments that were put on videos. Just let you know what's going on there. Now, as far as Intel seems to be coming up with the new 14th gen processor. It looks like they're going to be doing an Intel Dark processor or some stuff like that. I don't have all that information in front of me. But when I get it all stacked in front of me, I'll make sure I bring it with me the next time. Today has just been one of those days, I want to sit back, see what's going on with the fam here on YouTube, see what y'all are doing, see if y'all are having a great time, see what you got going on your end, if it's becoming really crazy or if it's not, or whatever the case is. Or everybody's just too busy today. Make sure y'all leave me a comment on the best time to do these streams, because I'm starting to see that doing the streams at 11 doesn't seem like it's working out that well. Tried it between 11 and 12, between 12 and 1. I just want to see what is going to work the best doing these videos. So y'all make sure you leave me a comment on that. Let me know what you think. Because I want to get a time established to where, on Thursday, I can do this. Probably it'd be best to start it at 1 o'clock. I'm starting to think. About between 12 and 1 o'clock, I'm thinking about doing it. So next week, we'll see if I'll put something out if we do it between 12 and 1 o'clock, or between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, or 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We'll have to see. So make sure y'all let me know what you think on that. Let's see what else we got cooking. Let's see. Let's go backwards. And since we are still on Amazon, we're going to roll back to the action screen again. Now, they got some good budget motherboards. I mean, they got some. I mean, this right here, this E5, you can always change this processor. This is a combo. I'm doing the combos right now so you all can see the combos. So that way you can see what's going on. I'm still gonna tell you, stick with the Ryzen. Hey, how's it going, El Daglo? I am doing great. I am doing great. I am doing great. I just type it into you because it seems like the video feeds are like about a 10-second lag. So just to let you know, it's just 10 seconds lag. So I gotta fix that too, so I can have it within a matter of 2 to 3 seconds. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm kind of going through, looking through, and seeing what's going on. You know, as far as motherboard combos, I mean, as you can see, it got some motherboard combos going on. You know, they got the. I just can't see why they got it so high. I mean, look, you get a 1356 for $65.46. Look at this. I mean, you can get a cheap computer right here. I mean, they got this one right here. Looks like you can get this one right here for $378. Or, you know, you can get one here for $219. You know. Or you can get the Ryzen 7 for $388. I don't know. I mean, prices have come up. I can tell you that much. They come up way a lot. I mean, now look at the combos with the. I mean, if you're gonna do. Well, I will try. I will try to make it last 2 hours. I will try to make it last 2 hours. If it lasts 2 hours, it will be an utmost of utmost. I just hope we get more people in, you know, because we need to get some people in here. We need to pack up the room a little bit. I will try my best to make it 2 hours. Right now, I'm going through the motherboard combos. And so far, we're at 32 minutes, so yeah, we got time. We got time. And hello, everybody. Welcome that just came in the door. Right now, I'm just getting a good look at, you know, you got an Intel motherboard right here, 11th gen, but I hear they're discontinuing. I hear Intel is discontinuing the 11th gen processor. So y'all make sure you watch out for that. If you get an 11th gen, it might be going discontinued soon, so do be aware of that. But they got some good combos. I mean, I don't think I'd pay $179, $180 for a Z490. You know, they got, you know, they got that right there, the ROG X570. That'll be a good board. You know, they got the X570 Plus Tough. That's a good one. I mean, the 5700G they got for $178. You know. Now, do remember, these are today's prices, everybody. These are today's prices. Well, to be honest with you, okay, there was a big thing between many reviewers about this. That what AMD and Nvidia are doing right now is, it's the simple fact, I'm going to break it down to you. Okay. It's the simple fact that AMD and Nvidia, they both are holding stock back from the consumers. If you're wondering what they're doing, they're holding stock back from the consumers. So they're only resupplying, not all the time, but they're doing it just in a pace to keep the prices high. And many reviewers have said something about it, and now stock is sitting on the shelf. So now retailers are going to have to lower their prices sooner or later, for the simple fact is they're not selling GPUs. Now, even Micro Center, Amazon, everybody's going to buy from Amazon and Newegg. eBay, they'll probably buy from eBay too. But when it comes to Micro Center, I think Micro Center is kind of shooting themselves in the foot with keeping the prices up high. They should be telling AMD and Nvidia, you need to bring down the MSRP prices. They need to lower the prices a little bit. But yeah, even when the new 4070 comes out, the new 4070, if they ever come out with it, or the 4060 Ti or the 4060, they're going to be through the roof. Their lowest price they're going to be going on a graphics card is not going to be under $500. And so far the way it's looking, they're keeping everything over a $500 threshold. Like with even AMD's doing the same thing. They're trying to keep their prices up high, and they're trying to clear out all their old stock. So guess what? What are you going to be left with? All their brand new stock. And guess what's not going to sell? Their brand new stock. That's what's not going to sell. So they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I think they're really shooting themselves in the foot. If they're doing that, it's not good for the consumer. I agree, it's not. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, you're right. But also understand too, now with Intel getting into the game and them fixing their driver software. Now, the good thing about that is that their prices, now Intel brought their price of their the Arc A750 down to $250. Okay, $250 for a GPU is not a bad price. With the A750, if they fix up the drivers, and they keep fixing the drivers for that card's going to be more valuable to the consumer, to the gamers, because they're fixing up the drivers more and more and more. I think they're just going to keep adding to it until they make it right and it gets nice and seasoned. So don't count out Intel just yet. Intel's still making their mark on the board, with their graphics cards. But I think they're going to make a mark sooner or later. So, always watch out for Intel as well. Don't count them out just because AMD and Nvidia put bogus prices out there. You know, Intel's still going to have their mark on the board. I guarantee that. So for the consumer, you know, I'm thinking Intel. I'm thinking about, you know, switching from AMD to Intel myself. I'm thinking about doing an Intel processor. I'm thinking about doing a Asus motherboard. You know, Asus always keeps their price down. You know, and probably the A750. And run that and see where I get. Because, you know, I have a good feeling that Intel is going to make that mark. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, look, I wouldn't blame you for not upgrading your PC right now. And be honest with you, I wouldn't even do mine neither. I'm gonna be honest with you about that. I wouldn't even upgrade mine either, because I know all their greed tactics and everything else. You know, but the thing is this, you know, if they want to keep being greedy, I'm gonna take and go and order from China. I'm sure I can get something from China that will work. You know, AliExpress can always order that way. But do be careful when you order from AliExpress. That is a very big watch who you buy from. You know, AliExpress is really they got some couple bad actors in there. But you can always find good actors, you know, when it comes to getting equipment and stuff from China. But I really don't want to go that way from China. What I want to do is I want to get right here in the United States. I want to get products that are here, that don't take but a couple days, that I don't have to wait 3 months for. You know, I just don't want to wait for the product. I want it to be here. You know. But if it comes down to it, you know, and the prices keep going up and up and up, I guess I'm just going to order from eBay. So that means now Amazon loses, Newegg loses. They lose all that new business because now with them jacking the prices up so high, guess what? Everybody's going to eBay. So, you know, or everybody's going to the marketplace on Facebook. Or everybody's going to Craigslist, you know, to find their stuff. So there's other ways of buying stuff that you don't have to pay a big old price for. But using the marketplace from Facebook and, you know, Craigslist and stuff like that and eBay, you know, or I'll just say Craigslist and marketplace of Facebook, you take a bigger risk than you do with eBay. eBay, at least if you get with the seller that will, you know, give you that 30-day warranty, you got a better shot to stick with eBay. So that's why I always tell everybody go to eBay, you know, but when you order from eBay, just be careful. I don't order memory, you know, I don't order computer memory. I don't order hard drives through eBay. I buy those straight up brand new. Okay. Now, paying brand new price for, you know, your RAM and your hard drive space is the better way to go than to buy it used. Don't buy it used because you always get something bad out of the deal. So that's just to let you know, don't go used. But when it comes to the motherboard, the processor, you can try used. or I wouldn't recommend getting a used motherboard with a brand new processor. I wouldn't mix the two. I would go used and used. I wouldn't go used and new, because that would be like shooting yourself in the foot, and it's just not that great. But, when you're trying to deal with your graphics card, you know, everybody makes the mistake. You can still stay with, and I always say this, if you stay with, like your 12th gen Intel, or you stick with your Ryzen 5000 series and AMD, you stay in those brackets for now, you'll be good. Now, if you want a video card, you got your 20 series, you can get like a 2060 or 2080, or the 3050. I wouldn't recommend the 3050. 3060 on up, you can go that route too. And that way you're not handing nothing to the greed of them. If you're buying like if you know somebody that's selling, computer parts, and you know them personally, that would be the best way to go. Because if you're buying from open market, you take a risk buying from open market. Just like with discrete graphics cards, you take a risk buying open market. For $700? Yes. Of course you can. You can build any computer for $700. I mean, I think the last week we had this discussion. You said anything that's up to $1,000 from the last week, but you're saying $700. Yeah, you can build anything you want for $700. Well, let's see. The best way I know to do this is to let me go ahead and just get. Okay, I'm gonna flip the screen around here. Okay, you want to know? This is Amazon, and I'm just gonna bring this to you. Okay, they got. I mean, look at the price on this. The 12100F. I mean, that's not a bad motherboard. And look at the price. That's 196. Okay, it's DDR4, or you can get the i5 2600KF. That's not a bad processor. That's not a bad deal right there. You can get the 590 right here for $119. That's not a bad deal. That's if you want to go Intel. This is Intel. This is for Intel. You know, that's DDR5. This is a DDR5 motherboard for $500, but I don't think you want to spend $500 on going that route. You know. And going the 12th gen on will definitely be better than the Ryzen 1700. Geez, Even the Ryzen 5 5600G is a lot higher than that. You know, so you know, I wouldn't go the Z490. That's too low. But if you go on Amazon, you look on the motherboard combos, you'll find the best deals that you could ever find. You know, I mean, they got this one right here, but to me, that's a little bit too hot. You know, it's a 12900, but it's got 8P core, 8E core, so that's 16 cores, 32 thread, unlocked. But that's just the processor. I mean, if you're going to order I mean, even this, I like the way that motherboard is. That looks pretty nice. You know, if I'm gonna recommend something, I'd recommend a 12th gen processor with either a 500 series motherboard or a 600 series. You know, yeah. I mean, that's $300 for that processor. If you're gonna do it, I would go 12th gen processor. But yeah, some of them look. Some of them are $500 and up. Yes, this is true. But there are some bundles like um like this one right here. This one right here. I mean, that's it. That's the bundle right there. I mean, but I can see if you would have told me no on this. I would have seen if you had told me no on this. Because, for 196 bucks, you don't want to pay for something that's going to be lightweight, you know. But, I mean, you can go as far as going on Newegg, too. You can look on Newegg. And look for Well, see, now ASRock has this right here, okay, for 109 bucks, right? So it'll support 13th gen and 12th gen Intel. And it'll support DDR4. And you can do Windows 11 or Windows 10. You know. It's got PCIe 4.0 M.2 capabilities. I mean, that's not a bad motherboard right there. And that's only $100. That's $109 right here. That's not bad. That's $109 right here. So then if you were to add a I mean, now look up on Newegg. Again, and look up I mean, right here. Right here. So this is LGA 1700. LGA 1700. And this is 12 core 24 thread. Yeah, I mean, now you got for $266, and you got for $109. Guess what? You got part of the PC for $266 and $109. What? That's 375 bucks. Just for those two parts. And then you throw $100 worth of RAM in there. So you got 476 bucks. And you throw a hard drive in there. So you add another 50 bucks to it. So you got 525 bucks. You still got everything you need for a PC. Oh, okay. Well, have a nice ride home and be safe. I'll be here, and we'll continue this discussion when you come back on. So we'll see you back here at about 2 o'clock my time. So be safe and ride well. And now, as far as if you want a 12th gen Alder Lake, this is the best way to go. Is for the 12th gen Alder Lake, and getting that motherboard too, and the ASRock motherboard, the B760M HDV. That seems like it's a good deal. I mean, you can't beat it with the stick. Not for $109. I mean, and then you got your processor, you know, that's got 12 megabyte of L2 cache, and you got 25 meg of L3 cache. Doesn't have no iGPU, but it is Windows 11 supported. You know, that's not bad. Not for 266. Or, depends on what you want. I mean, they got the 12400F for 165. That's probably the 6 core. Yep, this is 6 core. Probably 6 core, 12 thread. That's still not a bad deal, but it's 2.5 gigahertz. I don't think I would be dealing at that low. Or they got this one here, the 12100F, or you can go 10 core, 20 thread, and you can go this route for 250, and you get a 20 meg L3 cache, 9.5 meg L2 cache. You get Intel UHD 770 graphics, and you get Windows 11 supported, and this will fit the same motherboard for less of a price, but you get hey Mad, good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, if you got any questions, just get in there and just drop a question in, and I'll do my best to get it, get you the answer. But if you're looking for a good price, I would do if it was me and I was buying an Intel, I would do the i5 12 Gen here, this processor right here. I would do this right here, and I would do this motherboard right here, and I would drop because this motherboard, which would be upgradable to 13th gen, so you got an upgradability, so you can go up to 13th gen with this, so that's a plus. So you got a lot of upgradability, so that's really good with this motherboard. So I mean, yeah, I mean, the motherboard looks good. Looks like it's got a Hyper M.2. I'm sure you can get about 128 gigabytes of RAM on it too. Looks like it's a really good one. Pretty satisfied with the board. Hello, RC. Welcome back. Welcome in once again. Listening at work, huh? That's cool. That is cool that you're listening in. That's really cool. But look at it this way. If you're looking for an Intel board and you want to stay pretty much all Intel, that's pretty much the way to go. As far as motherboard and RAM, motherboard and processor. Now, We can go over there to Newegg again, and we can look at RAM. So we go DDR4 RAM, and see what they got cooking. So, I mean, I still think with the Corsair RAM, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I think with the Corsair RAM would be a lot better, when it comes to it all. Like right here, they got the 16 gigs for 46. I would think about going to the 32, which would be a cheaper deal. Okay. This would be a cheaper deal right here. The Corsair Vengeance LPX 32 gig, 2 times 16. You could use that for that motherboard too. That would be a really good deal. So if you were looking to do that, that's only $83. That would be a good, that's like, if you look at it like $42 and $31 more, you get an extra 32 gigs of RAM. So you figure you go back up here to the 16, you go 46 and 46, that's what, $94 compared to $83. So you're saving a good, what, 10, 11 bucks? That's something to think about. You're saving 10, 11 bucks. If you bought the RAM at 32 gigabytes of RAM. This is, it's pretty decent, I think. Oh, and they got color variations. Let's see if the price changes. Oh, even the red ones. Okay. See, even the red ones are like 79 bucks. And that's PC, that's PC 3600 too. That's 3600. The DDR4 3600. CL18, but $79.99, 80 bucks flat for the red ones. I know where to come to get the red ones, y'all. Oh, those are bad to the bone, RC. Those are bad to the bone. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% on Corsair. I use nothing but Corsair RAM. Even though mine's DDR4, not DDR5, you still can't beat the RAM. And I'm still running 16 gigs. I can't beat that. But what I'm going to do with this is, since I got 2 more slots, I'm going to take and leave the 16 gig in there, and I know I can do this. I've done this before. I'm going to stick the 32 more gigs in here and make this, what, 32 and 16? That's 48. I'm going to make this 48 gigs of RAM. Might as well use the RAM, not waste it. So I'll use all 4 slots. That'll be even more awesome. Leave the black ones that I have in here and put the red ones in. That would be even more awesome to see that. Put those 2 red ones in. That kind of make it look a lot. It'd break up some of the white and black in this. I think it would break up the white and black. Oh my goodness! But do y'all agree with me? I mean, if you go and look on Amazon Newegg, you can get right now. You can get the motherboard for $109. I know nothing about the B760M HDV, but it says OC on the memory, so you can go to 53333. I can't see something being wrong with this motherboard unless I don't know. Y'all let me know in the chat if there's something wrong with this motherboard that shouldn't, if it's not unlocked or it's locked. Let's see. Let's see if it's unlocked. I always look for, if it's gonna give a really good, if it's a low budget, and this is a low budget motherboard, just to let you know. I mean, let's see. I mean, it looks like a really good motherboard. It's got 5 V-core phases, got VCC GT1 and aux phase, VCC aux phase. It's got Gen 4 X4 PCIe. It's got the Ultra and the Hyper. It's got a Wi-Fi plug-in. I don't know. This motherboard looks pretty good. I don't know what y'all think. Y'all think this motherboard's really good? I mean, I kind of like the look of the ASRock motherboard. I mean, to me, it looks like it's really good. The only thing I don't like about this motherboard is that it has no covers on the VRMs. That's where I see that it doesn't have any cover on the VRMs. So that would be like an extra thing that you would have to do is cover up the VRMs. But all in all, if that's all you got to do and spend an extra $10, I mean, what, to get a heatsink for the VRMs? That's not a bad deal. I don't think that's a bad deal at all for $109. And especially this Intel Core, the i5 2600K. I know a lot of people don't like the K versions. Now, understand this. If I get an iGPU, okay, this is a scenario. If you get a processor chip with the iGPU built onto it, okay, unlike AMD, they take away from the cache, the L3 cache, just to put the iGPU onto the processor. But this is a but. Now, the thing with Intel is they really don't take away from that spot. I mean, this is a 125 watt processor, and it's got 20 megs of L3 cache, and it's got 9.5 megs of L2. That's cherry right there. I think it's cherry. Um, Full supported for Windows 11 and Windows 10. I mean, and it's got a 770 UHD graphics iGPU. Let's just say, because if your graphics card, let's say your discrete graphics card blows up, and you want to use your PC, and this is the only PC you got, and then it triggers in your mind, boom. Oh my God, I got an iGPU on here, so I'm still in the game. So, it's kind of a backup kind of scenario with your computer. It might not run as good as your discrete graphics card, but it's still a graphics card, but it's built onto the processor. So, yes, it uses a little bit of random access memory from your discrete memory. But, what I saw was between a discrete graphics card and the iGPU, there's only minimal to little difference. I mean, little difference. If I were to put this right here against let's say a 580 8 gigabytes, the iGPU is going to win over the 580 for some reason, and that's got over 2,000 plus cores, and this one's only got the iGPU's only got maybe 462 or something like that cores, with an iGPU. But look, I'm streaming to everybody, I stream to everybody on an iGPU. I'm not using a discrete graphics card. And that's the difference. I mean, discrete graphics card now these days, the prices are just too much. And everybody thinks, oh, I'm whining about the prices. No, I'm not. What's out there is you got the general public, in general, 99% of the general public saying to AMD and saying to NVIDIA, the only one that heard out of all that was, and get this, the only one that heard was Intel. Intel was the only one that heard the consumer. So now everybody's going to be jumping over to Intel because now they're going to have those new 14th gen CPUs coming out. They got an Intel Black coming out, some kind of Black series. They got that coming out. I remember when they did the Blacks, what was it? Geez, I'm trying to remember. It was a Black series, long time ago, and it used to have quadruple cores and stuff like that. It used to be the thing back then, but now they're bringing it back once again. The Black series. Now that's gonna be a little bit of of a change, because they did this about 20 some years ago, and now they're doing it again. So we all have a lot to look at when they're bringing out the 14th gen, and to see what that's about, because I don't think they've finished enough of the 13th gen to go to the 14th. But the way it's looking now is y'all better get ready, because when they go to 14th gen, they're already starting to phase out 11th gen. So sooner or later, you're going to have a harder time getting drivers from the 11th gen, 10th gen, 9th gen, 8th gen, 7th gen, and so on. Because I got a 2nd gen, I can't get the drivers anymore for the 2nd gen. If I look really hard, I can get the drivers. Even though I saved the drivers onto an SD card, I know I still got the drivers. That was just the backup. But now, when you're going from 11th to 12th gen, you're best off. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it there, L. Yeah, I mean, reviewers that does a live stream with an iGPU? That's something to really think about. And that shows you the power of this computer that I built, you know. Oh, I mean, this is I want to be able to when I started this channel, okay, understand this. When I started the channel with absolutely nothing to go with. I got myself a little camera. Okay, it's like $130 camera. I got a $400 PC with no graphics card, and I'm streaming on YouTube. Okay, now you got to figure that one out. I mean, total package $500, $550, somewhere in there. But that's it. I mean, and don't forget, I got a cheesy mic. See, now you look at my mic right here, cheesy. So I'm using a 10-year-old mic. I'm using $120 some camera, and I'm using a $450 PC. But I'm streaming on YouTube, and I'm doing my best for you all, as you know. And make sure y'all subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. But I'm trying my best. I mean, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Okay? And once this channel goes monetized, okay, then I'm going to take whatever I get from the monetization and put it back into the channel that would help me get product, for review and stuff like that. That's what I would use it for. I mean, I just want to make this clear. I make absolutely nothing doing this. This is all my personal time that I'm putting into this for everybody, because I enjoy speaking of, what I do, for so many years, and I've been doing this since '86, so, I just want to bring it out to y'all. I know, I would have thought I would have came in more prepared, but, I got what I got. But it works, and I'm here, and I'm doing the channel, and I'm trying to get the videos out close to every day, and stuff like that. But on another note, I know everybody was looking to see about, what kind of deals, if we go over to Micro Center, okay, let's say we go over to Micro Center. We don't have to be there to go to Micro Center, We can open up a whole new window. Yeah. And, we can just look for a combo. I mean, we can look for deals this way. I mean, let's see. The PC part deals. Look at this. They got a case right here for $56. I mean, they got an NZXTH high flow. They got that for $94.99. They got a good case there. That NZXT is a really good case. They got a land cool, but I don't think you want to pay $170 for a land cool. You know, it's stuff like that. Um, let's see what else we got. They got a Lee and Lee, but I don't like the way that Lee and Lee looks. That's not my bag. You know. Um, they got the Streamer Plus for 70. I mean, they got some good stuff going on here. Yeah, well, yeah, well, this is the thing. Okay, when I first started doing this, okay, I'm doing this on a tight budget. Okay, I put myself when I said I was doing this. Okay, I want you to understand this so you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, when I told everybody in the beginning, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the consumer. The one that's down there, that's the hardworking man or hardworking woman. The one that has a hard time making ends meet and everything else. And putting myself in their shoes. Okay, when it's coming to building a PC. And what we can do for the lowest budget, but to get it up and going and to get it going in the right direction, so that way everybody can see that no matter what you buy, okay, no matter what kind of parts you buy to build a PC, you can still do the same things. And this is just a point. I can still do the same things if I have a graphics card or not, because I have integrated graphics, but I can still do the same thing as having a discrete graphics card, using a low budget motherboard, fully unlocked, with a fully unlocked processor, which I have, and RAM that's cheap, a hard M.2 drive, hard drive, very cheap, doing everything on the cheap, but having it run just as good as having a good, a really good PC. Okay, that's the whole point of this. It's going to take me time to buy. It's going to take me time to buy the parts I need to build a better PC. But I've been running on this for the 5 months now that I've had this channel going. And when I started this channel, I started it with this PC. So I've been running it with this PC for 5 months now. Same parts, everything. And it's running great. Okay, well, I'll have a look into that. Okay. I'll have a look into that. But like I was saying before, my next step would be to put a graphics card in here. I already know this. I haven't decided what graphics card I want to get, because every time I go to look to get the graphics card that I want, they keep raising the price up 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. And I'm starting to think, if I don't buy it right then and there, that, I'm going to miss out on it. So I'm just waiting for tax time for everything to come back, so this way I can go get a good graphics card. Okay. And then I'm going to plug it into this system and see how it does. But if I'm not happy with the motherboard, and that's where I think I'm going to probably go up to a B550 motherboard. upgrade to that next step. You know, just doing it a step at a time, trying to make it, run the way I want it to run. But you got to admit, for what I have right now, I'm not doing too bad. So, we got to look at it that way too. I mean, if I'm taking something that's low budget and making it run and work like it's, a really good, top of the line, then that's what makes me, and thinking about what the consumer, what the lowest man on a pole or lowest woman on a pole would do, okay, to save a buck and everything else, this would be the route they're going to go. So, and that's pretty much what I did is I'm going their route to see how, putting myself in their shoes to see what route they would go to make what they call their perfect PC. Okay. So I haven't had no problems with this PC whatsoever. The only problem I had is when I upgraded the BIOS to the motherboard, it kind of spun up the usage of the RAM. It's a RAM bug. They had it on Reddit about that there's a RAM bug out there. So watch when I should have watched before I upgraded the motherboard, but I didn't watch and I didn't look to see about that post, and boom, I got spanked. So, but it still works. My PC still works. It's still running. Well, you are welcome, L. Yeah. See, that's the thing. You don't have to come out and spend $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 to get a decent PC. Okay, if you want one to just do creative work, creator work, like basic business kind of work and stuff like that. I mean, trust me, you can take and get yourself like a pre-built system for like less than $200 if that's the rate you want to go. But if you want a decent PC that, in the future that you can game with, that if you decide you want to go gaming or you want to go that next level, you can have that kind of PC if you build it. I mean, I went with these pre-builts, and trust me, I spent 2 years on an Intel pre-built. Okay, I paid $200 for that pre-built. And the bad problem about that is I had to take and get another graphics card because the discrete graphics card in there after a day blew up. So So I went and spent $50 and got a 1 gig graphics card, plugged it into it, and boom, I'm off to the races. I was only doing OpenGL gaming, so, with me not needing it for DirectX and everything else, I just needed it for the OpenGL experience. Finding out that, later on down the road now, since they've been upgrading the game, you're going to need like between 4 to 6 gigs, or about 4 to 6 gigs of VRAM. So with the iGPU I got, this I can go into the BIOS, I can take and push it all the way up to 8 gigs. And then go and get me 32 gigs, plug it into the system, have 48 gigs, and use 8 gigs for the VRAM. So basically, you have a video card already built into your system. And yes, these iGPUs, the Ryzen 5 5600G, will go up to 8 gigs of VRAM. not, you know, virtual RAM, you can put as much as you want on virtual RAM. But now dedicated RAM, you can dedicate 8 gigs of RAM to that video card, just to say. You know, for the iGPU, you can dedicate 8 gigs of that RAM minus off of your system. So as long as you got 32 gigs or greater, you can take that 8 gigs away from the discrete side of the system and still have it to where you got an 8 gig video card built into your system. So I know it sounds a little confusing, but with integrated graphics, it's not really confusing. But with this processor, I recommend this processor to anybody, anytime, and it's the Ryzen 5 5600G. I'm thinking about doing the Ryzen 7 5700G next, because I want to test the integrated graphics on that too. Especially if I'm going to spin it up to, you know, what it needs to be. So, I don't know. You all tell me. You either want to do integrated graphics or you want to do a discrete graphics card. Which one would you prefer? Either integrated graphics or a discrete graphics card? Especially in the time to where, you know, prices are just too high on discrete graphics card and everything else. Tell me if you really would go the route I would go. You know, let me know that. You know, I can tell you going this route is a lot cheaper. It still works the same to me because, you know, the only difference is I don't have AV1 encoding. I have the H254, I think, the 254 to the 255. So basically, I'm still doing YouTube at 1080p. So I don't think it's a bad deal. I really don't think it's a bad deal at all. You know, I mean, if you know you get somebody that just wants to start on YouTube just to get them started and going, you know, I would recommend my kind of system because it will get you going. Okay, you know, if that's the kind of route you want to go, I mean, that's the kind of route you want to go. If you don't want to spend too much into your system, you want to spend like $400, $500. There's a $400, $500 system that I'm using right now. So, I mean, you can't beat that with the stick. But if you want to go like the Intel way, you know, you can spend $109 on a motherboard and then get yourself a 12 gen processor. You know, you can get the 12K right here. You know, that right there, between that's only $359. And then adding, you know, if you want to add 16 gigs of RAM, that's $42. So, and, you know, basically right there. That's, I mean, you can go the 32 gig and spend $79, and still that's less than, I mean, those three parts are less than $350. You had $50 M.2 drive. Guess what? What are you up to? $400. So there's your $400 PC right there. And you're only going to need, a 600 watt power supply. You know, I mean, that's about the most you ever need for this kind of system is like a 600 watt power supply. It's low budget. And, you know, the only real big thing is your storage space. So let's say you want to get, like, you know, storage space. Let's say, you know, let's go up here. Let's just go to Amazon to say real quick and look for let's say we go 4 terabyte. Okay. Now you can do a 4 terabyte NAS. You know, you can do the NAS, or you can do this one. Let's see. I'm looking for the best one that's going to give me the best spin up. That's going to be just right. I mean, let's see, 6 gigabytes, 256. They got a Western Digital Purple for $86. I mean, you really don't need to have it spin that high. You can get the WD Red right here. I mean, for $65. I mean, you can get the Plus with the cache built onto it, the 128 mega cache for $69. That's a really good drive right there. So, if you want to have extra space, for storage, for like games and stuff, you want to store games, I would go to one of these 4 terabyte hard drives and plug those off to the side into the system and use an M.2 drive. Use a 1 terabyte M.2 drive for, guess what? For your operating system or wherever you need the most. So now you got a 5 terabyte system with no discrete graphics card, and it has, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and, I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, you really can't. 5 terabyte system, you can't beat it, especially if you can get 8 gigs of RAM usage for your integrated graphics. That's still a graphics card in itself. Not a lot of people know that with these AMD processors, like the 5600G, that you can get 8 gigs of RAM usage for that card. So I can take it up to 8 gigs of RAM. And that's the good part about it. So, I mean, it's no smoke and mirrors. It's all real. And you can do it. I mean, I just think it's a really good deal myself. Truthfully. But it depends on what you're looking for. Now, Al, you said to me that you want a system that's less than $700. Right here's one part of it. Right here's another part of it. And right here is another part of it. And then, you can go back and get one of these hard drives right here. I mean, you can get a 2 terabyte if you want, or you can get a 4 terabyte, which, I would recommend the 4 terabyte with the cache. That would be, recommended. Because to me, I would stick with this one right here. Right here. This one right here. I would stick with that one right there. And use that for, like, store games and stuff like that. And then look for an M.2 drive. Let's say we go to Amazon. And we look for an M.2. Let's see. Go to M.2. I would not recommend that. No. Those WD Blacks, I heard some bad things about them. And I wouldn't even go that route. There you go, right there. There you go, right there. That's an upgrade. This right here, that looks like it's a good one. For 66 bucks, that looks like it's a great deal. Yep. That looks like it's a really good deal. If you're looking for an M.2, that would be the best way to go. It's a PCIe Gen 4x4. I mean, I got the 3x4 in mind for the Crucial. I got the 3x4 in mind. And I'll tell you what, the 3x4 to me is a monster. You know. I mean, if you add up the prices, and you'll probably end up getting rebates back for some of the stuff that I told you about if you buy on Amazon or Newegg. You'll probably get a rebate or two on some stuff, so you'll probably save yourself 50, 60 more dollars, if you're buying from Newegg or Amazon. When I got my system, I saved like over, what was it, $89 on rebates from Amazon. So, that might be something you want to look into as well. So those rebates come in handy. So, what else? I mean, they even got the processor cheaper here. The 12400F for 164. But you all get the point. I mean, if you think about it, you get pretty much the point where you can buy your PC parts, lay them all out, start with your motherboard, and see if it's 12th or 13th gen if you're doing Intel. Get a motherboard that will support 12 or 13th gen, so at least you got an upgradability to the next level. See how much RAM it'll hold. See if it'll hold 128 gigabytes of RAM. That's recommended. You can go to and stick, if you want to stick with Gen 4 and you've already got a Gen 4 system, you stick with your Gen 4 system, right? So you take your RAM from your old computer, if you got 16 or 32 gigs of your old RAM, plug it into your new PC, so you just saved yourself 50 or 80 or 100 bucks. Use your old case, you can save yourself another 50, 100 bucks there. If you already got the power supply with that, that's another 50, 100 bucks you're saving. If you already got your keyboard and your mouse and you're happy with it, that's another 50 or 60 bucks you're saving. Okay, figure all the savings that you got with the parts you have on hand right now, and what you can do to take that system up to the next level. And by taking it up to the next level means that, replacing the motherboard, replacing the processor, and if those are the only two pieces you really got to do is the motherboard and processor, but you want to put more RAM in there, guess what? There you go. So you spend, by taking your old system and upgrading it, you save yourself a couple $100 here and there. So basically your most you spend is no more than 300 bucks. If you take and just put the parts in, upgrade the parts, then you're spending no more than $300. I mean, that's $300 just to get a good upgrade. So you figure if you spend let's say you spend $350 to do a motherboard and PC upgrade, then you got $1,000 budget. So guess what? You have on that budget, you have what? $650 to play with. $650, or let's say you get those parts for $200, and then you have an $800 budget for your graphics card. That you only need to upgrade is the motherboard, the processor, and your graphics card. Okay, those three pieces alone are going to bring you up to $1,000 if you want a decent graphics card. Okay, let's say you just want to skimp out and you don't want to do all that, and you just say you want to blow your whole budget and you just want to get a graphics card. Use the processor and the motherboard you have, and you just want to take and add a bigger graphics card. Like getting a 4080 from Nvidia or a 4090 from Nvidia, but you don't have that kind of budget for $1,000. That's a $2,000 budget. I would recommend that you have a decent processor and motherboard if you're going to be running like the 4080 or the 4090 or the RX 7900 XTX or the 7900 XT. I would suggest you have a decent motherboard with a decent processor to do that. But you can, truthfully, I bet you any money I could take and run the RX 7900 XTX off of this processor, the 5600G. The only difference between the 5600G and the 5600 is that one has 30 gigabytes of L3 cache, and this one has 19 megabytes of L3 cache. Okay, that's the difference between the 5600X and the 5600G. That's the difference. What, 12, 13 megs of RAM? Nothing else really that's special between the two. They both have the same performance. So I'm not losing anything on the performance when I get the 5600G. What, L3 cache? You can make that up in high switching RAM. With your RAM, you can make that up with a better, higher switching with, kind of RAM. Like 3600 MT RAM. You can make it up there. CL16 3600 MT. 32 gigs of of the 3600 MT RAM. You can make up the difference between your RAM and your processor for the L3 cache. But do remember, your processor does come with L2 cache. That makes up some of the difference of the L3 cache. So one hand washes another, basic to say. Now, if I were to do this system again, I would have went up to a B550 motherboard instead of the B450, but I wanted to do a low budget PC that can take and stream on YouTube, that can take and, do the whole 900 yards, that can handle up to at least, 4 or 5 hours of, being hammered on. I want it to be able to handle that, hard kind of work. But the way it looks is this one is not doing too bad. It seems to be handling everything that I throw at it, except for, Forspoken. I threw Forspoken at this computer, and believe it or not, the demo, I was actually able to play Forspoken on the demo. Excuse me. And that's surprising on this computer. So, Now I wonder where I put that. Let me see if I still got that. Let's see from the camera. Let's see February. Let's see, back that off. I'll find it for y'all. But the bad thing about this is OBS doesn't do that great. OBS and doing this game at the same time is a big no-no. So I tried to get you guys a little bit of a clip. Well, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see if it works. See, I was working on it at the time. Let's see if we can hit play on this. Get this. Let's see if it works. Oh, hold on. Oh, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see if it works. And let's see if we can hit play on this. Get this. Let's see if it works. Oh. See, this is the problem I was having. Guess what? Guess what I discovered? Let's see if it works. I tried my best. I tried my best on this. It kind of froze on me a little bit here and there, you know. And then, you know, running OBS and this at the same time, let's see if it'll come back. It kind of just, you know, it locked me out. So I was unable to go, you know, further with this. But I was able to play the demo on this. Now, with some graphics, they said they're going to be updating it so that way older video cards would be able to play Forspoken. I ran into a random access memory problem with it. You know, it requires 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's the thing. So, oh my goodness. I want to show you all how far I got before it froze. I was trying to mess with this Forspoken. Let's see why it's not. See, that's about as far as I got right there. Well, it seems to be working now, but let me turn this off. So that's just to let y'all know that I did get to that point and it was working. So just so y'all can see that right there. And this is a hard game to play on just an integrated graphics. So I was just showing y'all that, you know, if you put your mind to something, you know, you can do many things of what you want to do with your PC. You put your mind to it, it will work 1,000% for you. You know, you don't need to buy, you know, like a $6,000 system just to get it to work for you. You know, you can buy the right components and it'll work just perfect for you. I just want to let you know that. The components I bought, as you can see, I still can test with mine. I can still do many things I want with mine. You know, and I love it. It runs great. I mean, I can't beat it with the stick. And if I did beat it with the stick, it'll probably beat me back. But you know how that goes. You know how that goes. Now, as far as what they got coming out now, they were supposed to be promising that we were going to have lower motherboards that were going to be lower in price, to find out they were not non-overclocking motherboards. So basically, when you buy a lowercase motherboard for the new AM5 series, that some of the motherboards won't be overclockable. That basically they're locking you out from the overclocking part. So basically, watch what you buy when it comes to a motherboard. You know, just to give you that little hint. You know, so you're not stuck in that same boat. You know, you figured, oh, I bought this B620 motherboard, and turn around, it's all locked. So don't be surprised if it is. So how is everybody doing? Nobody's saying nothing much. What is going on out here? What's going on? Y'all having fun out here on your PCs? What are you doing? You know, let me know what's going on so I can see, you know, just let me know what's going on. You know, and what do you all think about this thing that's going on with NVIDIA, to where they taking their 4090s, their 4080s, 4070 Ti's, they're going to have a 4070, and now these new cards. I'm hearing that, you know, the price ain't going to go below, it's going to stay right at $500 or greater. So there is not going to be no $200-300 budget gaming card anymore. What do you all think about that? Let me know in the comments so I can see what you all think about that. And yeah, AMD's playing the shell game just right along with NVIDIA on the less cards they make, the more higher the prices they can keep things. That's one thing too. So, but I showed you all, you know, the basics that you can, if you want to get an Intel motherboard, you know, Intel setup with, you know, you could do an Intel graphics card, Intel motherboard, or no, and you know, you can do an ASRock motherboard, Asus motherboard, whatever kind of motherboard, and basically the processor being Intel, and try your luck there with an Intel, you know, Intel processor with an Intel graphics card. That's going to be my next little build. Is I want to take and get that $250 graphics card. I want to get, you know, I'm still thinking about doing that that Intel build that I've seen. Because that, I mean, that total right there with the graphics card and everything, that should be no more than $600. I mean, to me, that's not a bad deal, I don't think. You know, what do you all think about that? I mean, if you can get a whole gaming system for $600, brand new with warranty, don't you think that's a better deal? You know, and I'm sure if you wait patiently, that graphics card from Intel, that ARC graphics card, has AV1 encoding. That has the new AV1 encoding. Oh, sorry. Sat 2 hours too long. Just to let you know that. So that card for content creating would be a good card for content creating. Especially with them updating the drivers and everything else for the ARC A750 and even the A770. I think the A750 would be a great card. Plug that in, to an Intel motherboard, run all Intel system, I think it'd probably rock. So it's just how you plan your stuff and how you put it out there. You don't have to spend $2,000 to get a great, great graphics. Because basically you're taking the information from the computer, you're putting it into the computer screen where you can see it, and it's just storage and it's show and tell. So basically, it doesn't have to be, hardcore. It can be just decent. I mean, me, that's what I would do, to be honest with y'all. I would do that. I mean, if I wanted to upgrade my system right now, I could just take and get all the new parts I need and then plug it into this one. I have no problem with it. It'll last, I think this system I got here will last me 5 years. Because if me modifying a second gen Dell, and it lasted me 2 years, I'm sure this computer I got here will last me 4 to 5 years. And I still got that Intel processor over here, that computer, it still got it. It's a Gen 2. And it's still running great using a DDR3 RAM. Still rocking along. So I just wanted you all to understand that it doesn't matter how old or how new the freaking parts are. You can always make them, run at 100%, and you either stick a new graphics card with it to bring it up, add some more RAM to it, boom, you're done. You're off to the races. Let's say you got a regular standard hard drive, a regular platter hard drive, you want to turn it into an SSD drive, then upgrade it to an SSD drive, and then, add a bigger graphics card, add more RAM, and boom, you're done. Just update all the drivers for the hardware, and that's it. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, you can take your plain Jane everyday system, and that's the thing, El. That's one thing I want you to understand is that you have that system with the Ryzen 1700. How far can you take that processor up to that motherboard? How high will that go? That's going to be another question. I mean, you look at what's compatible with your motherboard, okay? You look at what's compatible with your motherboard and see if you can upgrade all the items on for your motherboard. I mean, I should be able to get this B450 motherboard up to a Ryzen 9. And that's a Ryzen 9, I say. The 5000, I should be able to get up to the 3950X or something like that. I mean, that's something to think about. In the future, how far you can push your motherboard, if it'll handle it or not, it's just checks and balances. So, but if you just want to, you're done with your old system, you just want fresh, brand new, right out the gate, then, and you want to do an Intel this time instead of doing AMD, go all Intel. Go all in Intel. I mean, that's the best way to do it. You can get a whole system for dirt cheap, 12th gen, and with upgradability to 13th gen. Oh yeah, that's not a bad deal right there. So I don't know. Tell me what's on your mind. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, there it is. I mean, that's the best thing to do is, I told you the best thing, that's less than $700, you know. I mean, there's no gimmicks, there's no strings. You just purchase the items, you put it all into your system, you upgrade all the software, the BIOS firmware, the software for the system, upgrade everything to the max, and then you got what you got. So anything, and this is the thing too, anything that you get that's better than the 1700 Ryzen is gonna be better, and it's gonna be faster. So you understand that too. It's gonna be faster and it's gonna be better because you went and spent that extra little money to get to the next level. So, and if I spend money to get to the next level, then I know I'm spending it in the right direction. I know I'm not going to be spending it to where, I'm giving money away, but I'm budgeting within a certain amount and I'm getting a better deal. I mean, I thought about getting a $250 graphics card, and I was thinking about getting an Intel, and plugging it into the system I have, because this system here will handle an Intel graphics card. So you can go all Intel, go all in, or you can sit and wait and see if the prices come down, which you're not going to see any kind of results until maybe August, September, or October, to where they're going to lower prices from August to October, or from October to November. You might get a little bit of a price gap in between there, but as far as them really going down to like $100 or $200, I really don't foresee that, because I see everybody buying used right now for the $100 to $200 range. $100 to $150 range. But, if you get a good deal on an Intel video card, then go all Intel. I mean, if they're $250 for an Intel graphics card, I mean, why not? So, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about that, because, to me, I can stick with this iGPU all day long and have it run just the same way as when I first bought it. So I can have this running all day long, and I can do live streaming all day long. So, but I'm not going to do it all day long. There are some things I got to do in real life, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Let me know what you think. But we got about maybe 9 more minutes, and I told you I would do this for 2 hours, and I started out at 12. Okay. Well, no, I started out later than that. I'm already over 2 hours. Oh my goodness, it says right here I'm over 2 hours. But I will go till 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so y'all don't worry, we got 9 more minutes. Okay, this is going to be the deal. Next week on the stream, I'm going to be starting it out a little bit later than 11 o'clock. I'm going to be pushing it up to about 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to do 1 to 3 on Thursdays, just to let you know. So I'm going to be pushing the time up from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Thursdays. You know, on Saturdays, Graphics Card Nightmare will be out on Saturdays. We'll work on some more videos all through the week. And also, too, this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. That way you can get all the latest and greatest videos coming out from JayJay's PC Builds. And, you know, you get notified when they come out. So, if you want to be notified when they come out, make sure you subscribe. That's the best way I can say it. And I keep forgetting that one little sign that says live streaming. Oh my goodness. And I forgot that sign too. I cannot believe that I forgot that. But I posted it anyway. So here we go. Yep. So, and also too, if you watch the videos from beginning to end, would help out the channel as well. Because we're still trying to get the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And we're going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep mentioning it and letting you all know that we need this until we reach our goal. Then after we reach our goal, hopefully by the end of the year, we can hit 100,000 subscribers. Or greater. I'm hoping for 1 billion subscribers. So, but you know how that goes. So, just a little bit of a recap on what I was talking about earlier. Watch when you upgrade the BIOS to your computers. There's a virus that's going out there, a RAM bug, causes your computer to go haywire on the RAM. So do be aware of that. Always keep an eye out for NVIDIA to see what they got cooking next. They're supposed to be having the RTX Titan coming out and the RTX 4090 Ti coming out. The 4070, the RTX 4070, the RTX 4060 Ti. They're supposed to be having the RTX 4050 coming out. You know, AMD, they're supposed to have sooner or later driver updates for the 6000, everything that's down below 6000 series. They haven't updated that yet because they're updating their 7900 series. They haven't, updated the 6000 series in 2 or 3 sessions. So hopefully they start doing that soon. And you know how all that's going to be going. But anyway, make sure y'all subscribe. I'm going to take and jump out of here. I want y'all to have a fine day. Make sure you stay safe. Watch out for, people trying to run you over. Stay on the sidewalk if possible. You know how it goes. But until the next time, and I mean the next time, and the next video, this is JayJay on JayJay's PC Builds. I will see you on the next video.